YouTube, this is a crazy video, you know what I'm saying? Apparently, a streamer named Gene Praminov, at age 46 died mid-stream on the platform Kick. Why am I talking like a news anchor? I don't know, I'm not a news anchor. But we gonna react to Fritz streaming turns lethal, fast facts. You know, we're gonna get into the legal mindset. I was trying to find, I was gonna go and like look for the clips and shit, but I didn't want to do that because I don't want to like show anything gruesome on there, because apparently a group of guys pretty much was just abusing the guy on live the whole marathon that they were doing, and it's just really sad, bro. And apparently he was also disabled. That does not, you know what I mean?
Of there being very, very serious topics that I indeed have to cover. But this is one that jumped out to me as something that I should cover, because I had several people reach out to me that are familiar with kind of the streaming ecosystem and tell me, Andrew, this is like the Somali case, but in some ways worse, because it involves kind of the extremes of streaming and doing certain things that really never even happened there. And beyond that, it's something that really is circulating right now in a foreign language, mostly in French and in Francophone circles and media, but not in.
This sucks for Kick though, like the streaming platform, because that's apparently where it happened. I feel bad for Kick. Like
English. So as with
I feel bad for the person who died. Apparently, yeah. Let him cook.
Started circulating in Korean media and really with Korean streamers, and then jumping over to mass media, jumping over to everybody. This is something I'm going to communicate to you guys because it's really important. And I think this is one of the instances where we can see cultures kind of sharing our information in order to create a better ecosystem and a better content ecosystem, and certainly to protect against both criminal activity and liability. So once again, today, in this case, which we're talking about, which happens in France, I've got a couple warnings and disclaimers. Well, first of all, this is something that does involve a death. So once again, as always, when this happens, please be respectful in the chat. If you're in the live chat or in the comments.
Of course, be respectful, you guys. Don't be a dickhead, bro. There's nothing funny about this.
As well, we just try to be respectful of everybody involved. We do not know
the
facts yet. I'm giving you an initial report, which if I find anything that's incorrect, if I make a misstatement, if I had information that was mistranslated, I will issue a correction. I will have an update, but I'm just getting that there as soon as possible. And this also deals with content that indeed talks about humiliation, talks about, there's some, obviously some physical stuff going on in here. So if you're particularly sensitive to any of that, please tune out right now, as we'll be discussing that, of course, in a very
don't worry, we not pussy. We good, bro.
Respectful and manner, and very
come on now. If you can't handle it, please don't.
And in a professional manner, focusing on the greater policy.
We ain't pussy is crazy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that, but don't. If you know you're going to freak out over these type of topics, don't even, you know what I mean?
So first of all, another disclaimer, I'm not a French lawyer. This is not French legal advice. I'm simply observing and looking at broad.
No, not a French lawyer, not French legal, not implying guilt for any party. More investigation is necessary, both by law enforcement and by the platform itself. Respect should be given to the deceased and their family. I'm going to skip this because he's got
a family. A.k.a. Jean Promenov. He was a streamer who had a very large audience on Kick and TikTok. I noticed before his Kick was taken down, which it was, because he indeed passed away on stream. So obviously,
that's so sad, bro. And he probably really enjoyed, like streaming and stuff, but like he died doing the thing that he loved doing. He really liked making content, and he passed away. That's so sad, bro.
They're not going to keep
that's. I'm not even trying to be. I'm being serious.
But he was quite popular, almost 200,000. I think it was 193,000 followers on Kick. So very large following there on that platform, as well as on TikTok. Now, he died at age 46. He died on stream on the 17th and 18th. An investigation has been opened by law enforcement, but they're still, according to latest reports, waiting on an autopsy, which will tell us a lot about how he died. It has been reported that by some sources, that he had a heart condition and was taking heart medication. So certainly if he died of
he was disabled,
cardiac arrest or something related to that, that would lead people to think, is there a causal chain?
For past 10 days subjected to humiliation on stream by friends, Naruto. Owen. Oh, that's his real name. Owen Senazati and Safine. Okay.
Something caused him to have abnormal stress on his heart? Did he have abnormal pressure? Whatever. Are there any
This was
conditions
10
that would have
days and
led to
nights
that
of
or could have
torture.
contributed to
Fuck,
that? And
bro.
in this case, there is a situation because what we had 10 days before was 10 days of humiliation on stream by his friends. And I'm putting quote unquote friends because it is hotly debated from what I've seen in the Francophone circles and in media, whether these people are his true friends or whether they were streamers that were taking advantage of him. They go by the name of
Probably both. Probably both.
Naruto, Owen,
Well, they're not his friends, so probably just taking advantage of him.
Senza
There's no
Zandati,
way.
and Safine. There were others involved as well. There's streamers that popped on and involved
Jeez.
in this as well, but those two are the ones majorly mentioned, and they've come out and issued statements.
Like, really, like, this was 10 days and nights of torture, extreme physical violence, sleep deprivation, and ingestion of toxic substances. No, they actually tortured him. What the fuck? Bro, what?
About this. And they were submitting him to humiliation, some of which I'm going to give you the recap of on the Fast Facts. Of course, the live, I will play some of the videos so they'll see it. But it's been
Okay.
described as 10 days and nights of torture, extreme physical violence, and sleep deprivation, and ingestion of toxic substances.
Bro is 46 years old with a heart condition, disabled. Like, bro, what?
Now, I'm just doing some clips here, but you see here, they've got him here. They've got boxing gloves on.
Oh, nah. They probably kill squirrels for fun or some shit. I don't know. They do some on the side. Look at their faces, bruh. They ain't hunting cattle, but they hunting something or someone.
On there, punching
I
him,
don't
kind of
know.
beating him up there. And over here,
Bro, he's literally freaking out, dude.
this is another video, and when you play it, this translation is lets out a mentally ill cry. This reactions and the reactions he often has are reactions you would see in somebody with
Nah, these niggas are fucking losers. Like, actually, dog. Like, what the fuck? Oh, to put him in jail. He over here laughing and shit. He look like Jeff Nippard.
mental illness. So when I saw him
He's not Jeff Nippard, y'all. Relax.
reacting, it was not a normal person reacting. It was definitely something that I think if you look deeply into it, buried into it, there was some mental illness or something going on there in his mentality when you see the reactions. They would shoot him with paintball guns.
Nah, bro. Bro, these niggas are sick, bro. Bro literally has him on the ground. Like, what?
Put him in the kind of locks, and hold him down, etc. Punch him, choke him out. You see here, there's a bunch of guys here kind of teaming up. They got his hand around his neck. They're kind of choking him out. They got him barred in there. This guy's just sitting there watching, right? This was this type of content, this humiliation content that they were doing for the past 10 days. See here.
Nah, bro. What? Yo, these niggas are sick, bro. Like, bro, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. Bro was not having fun for sure.
Here he's been held back and they're covering him with some substance. I don't know whether they're making him eat it or not, but it's all over him. And one of the most disturbing things to me was both these are two separate instances and calls, but one of them, this is his friend there, Naruto, who was calling him up and kind of
This nigga dyed his hair green, his beard green. You dyed your beard green? Oh, what the? Get this nigga out of here, bro.
hanging the sword of Damocles of his livelihood and his housing, kind of saying, hey, you've got to do this if you want to stay alive, if you want to have your livelihood or your dreams, you want to, stay inside, you've got to keep doing this. You can't give up. And kind of talking him into continuing this thing. And you can see here's the money tracker, right? So obviously,
oh yeah, they would. Hey, get as much money as we can, and we nah. They was definitely gonna steal that money from him too.
obviously he is making money on this. There's money to be made on this, right? But at what price? And in this right one, as you see, he's kind of dressed up here. He's got the stockings on, all this. They're humiliating him.
Wow.
He's actually on the phone with his mother. And his mother is begging him to please stop, please leave, please just quit. And it's really a situation where he was put, between these friends and this lifestyle, and what he was doing on stream and these humiliation streams, and his mom. People care about him, saying, "Hey, look, you should stop this." And it was really heartbreaking to see that, because you can imagine if you're in that position that you're so desperate that you are having to go against your mom and others who care about you. That's a very dark place to be. That's a very, very dark place
Oh,
to
you was
have to
going through some
exist
shit, bro.
for Jean. So what happens here? What are the
Nah.
legal considerations now that he's passed away? And of course, after this, he did
Oh, they getting them niggas getting charged. He deserves a charge just for having a green fucking beard. Like, bro. Like what, bro?
pass away
Like,
on stream while on stream. And even the chat was kind of
like,
pointing out, hey, this guy died on stream.
nah, bro. I don't know. I don't know. He probably eat rats too. I'm talking. He look like he might eat some rats or some roly polies. You know what I'm saying? That's what he looks like on his hands and knees. Like,
so what are the legal considerations here? First of all, a lot of people bring up Section 230. It happens in the comments in the live chat. Guys, this is not US, so obviously we're not applying Section 230. But even if Section 230 was applied, this does not protect any crime. So to the extent that a crime was committed here, that would not be any protection for let's say, a platform under Section 230. Further, waivers and exculpatory clauses, which I believe in the French legal system, once again, I'm not a French lawyer, just did some research. It appears that they also have exculpatory clauses, and it appears they do not protect against criminal behavior. So you can't protect against reckless endangerment, gross negligence, or intentional harm. That's similar to the American system. If you sign up for bungee jumping and they were reckless and they saw the rope was, half cut, and they let you jump anyways, and you die because the rope snaps, yeah, that's reckless, right? That's maybe even intentional, right? Yeah, that's not going to get them out of liability. So if you're doing something that is reckless, that is grossly negligent, it's not going to get you out. It appears in many places in the world. And I believe, once again, I'm making the guess here, but from what I've seen, I believe France might be the same way. Also, it appears that France also has contributory negligence, which in French, fait de la victime. No, that is, contributory negligence.
Let me shut the fuck up. Okay.
Is when you may have contributed towards that. I haven't reviewed all the video, and I don't know to what extent Jean may have come.
Nah, they was punching him down. They had him shave his hair. He fucking. Nah, bro. Bro was really in a bad place, bro. Like, oh my fucking goodness, bro. Bro is 46 years old, bro. Nah. His friends, they ain't real friends. His friends were there just to make money off him. That's what they was trying to do. And that's what I'm thinking. There's no way.
And added to it himself.
There's no fucking way.
Maybe he was doing something that contributed to the circumstances related to his death. Maybe he was not. That's something that come into play. Now, it does not completely block you from recovering damages in court or block you from liability or criminality, but it can be factored in. So if the party did something, it did something to cause their own problem, then it can be factored in. Now, it's so early. It's way too early. We do not have enough information to assign guilt or liability. So at this point, I'm not saying who's liable here. All I'm saying is when I look back and I look at all of this stuff here, this does not look good. None of this stuff looks good at all.
Especially with that guy that calls himself Naruto with the green beard. I mean, that's just fucking insane.
And beyond that, I want to bring up the topic of censorship versus free speech, because this is something that's been coming up a lot lately. And I want to make my position even more clear and kind of articulate this, because while some people may say this type of content needs to be censored or removed completely, I think there is a balance with moderation to protect free speech. And there's a difference, right? So censorship is usually broadly banning content or creators that go against established norms. It's saying, hey, we're going to censor anything that involves anything that would be embarrassing, right? Well, if you censor anything that's embarrassing, that's a lot of content.
Or if you say something that doesn't, let's say I own Kick, and let's say I'm a politically biased person, and if you don't, and me and you don't align with our political biases, and if you say something on your stream or any type of content where it goes against my political established norms, my political beliefs, you know what I mean? I could just censor you, hide all that shit, right?
Right. That could be almost everything.
That's how it works,
right? In terms of content,
I know what censorship is. I'm acting stupid right now.
It's censorship isn't just that. Censorship is saying, hey, there's only certain news outlets, and these are the ones we like, and we're only going to let information come through them. It's got almost no transparency. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what the
Hmm.
censors are using to, rule one way or another. It's kind of Big Brother out there censoring one thing or another based on a whim or based on
Yeah,
a trend or whatever else. It's
push their own narrative,
inflexible because really the only
right?
solution is you cannot do this. It's not you can do this in one way. It's no, you cannot do this. We're just censoring it. You can't have this type of content. And I think censorship is indeed a massive threat to free speech. And I think there's
Oh
many
yeah,
historical instances where we can see that this is a
yes.
clear threat and it's a problem. It's caused a problem. In the societies where they have had mass censorship, it has indeed long-term caused problems. And ultimately,
Mm.
people end up accessing that information or content one way or another, whether that's through the
Yeah, we'll figure it out one way or another. And what'll happen, and for the people who've been censoring, once they figure out who's been censoring them, you know, pitchforks and fucking fires.
black market, the gray market, etc., they're going to get that information somehow, some way. So I'm not a big fan of censorship. However, moderation, I think in an ideal world, once again,
Okay.
ideal because moderation can cross the line to censorship. I think addressing specific content or creators that cross very specific boundaries within a specific community. Once again, how specific is that? It's laser focused. It's saying, okay, we have this very specific problem. How
Okay.
do we address this very specific problem in the most minimally obtrusive way? And
Mm.
that's consistent with US law and a lot of other legal principles. We want to intrude as little as possible, do as little as possible to
Oh yeah.
regulate this, the true minimum.
The
I
minimum,
think
yeah.
that is in line.
Yeah, and that's exactly how Kick is. They need to have a TOS. There's no way. You gotta have a TOS. But how do you but their TOS, like their pressure is so minimal. Like you can literally say whatever you want. Not do whatever you want. Of course you can't commit crimes and shit, but you can say whatever you want. You can, you know what I mean, right? Like so, you know what I mean? Like
With
yeah,
moderation. I think it's adaptable to each platform and context. And I think that's completely compliant with the principles of free speech and has limited impact on free speech. And
yeah,
ultimately, in ideal moderation, it's transparent. You're telling people, hey,
yeah.
this is why you're banned. This is what the lines are. This is what the
Yep.
boundaries are.
This is what Twitch doesn't do. Twitch does not do this. They do not do this, bro. You know what I mean?
And you're communicating that openly. You're not trying to hide the ball. You're not trying to pretend that it's one thing and it's another. No, you're ideally telling people why they are moderated and why they're banned. And you can have a flexible method, both in how you go out and communicate the guidelines. You can say, okay,
Mm,
here's the guidelines. You have, 30 days to comply or 15 days to comply or whatever. You can give people warnings. You can just say, hey, look, we're not going to
yeah.
ban you off this platform. We're going to give you a warning. We're going to tell you what you did wrong. Hey, we're going to give you a
Okay.
good explanation of what you did wrong.
Yeah, a lot of news stations. Oh, news stations aren't always transparent. They can come up with their own narratives. You know what I mean? But like, internet platforms like YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, or mainly YouTube and Twitch, they're not always transparent. They just give you a strike and they don't tell you why. You know what I mean? But fuck, bro. Oh my goodness.
Wrong.
This
Not
shit
just,
is
hey, you broke
insane.
the guidelines generally. I'm looking at you, YouTube. YouTube
Yeah,
sometimes does that. Once again,
yeah, YouTube does that shit where they'll strike your channel, but they won't tell you why. It's kind of bullshit. Twitch is the same way too.
YouTube's not perfect. Saying, hey, here's the specific reason you did this wrong. Please fix this in a future video. And you can say, oh, okay, I did this. Okay, I got it. Let me fix that. And by
Yeah. When I've gotten strikes in the past, usually they give you a warning first and then they strike you. You know what I mean? But if you get 3 strikes, you get permanently banned off the platform
scaling back and giving that kind of flexible
within a 3 month
explanation
period.
and as minimal as possible of corrective measure, I think this can make things good. And where I want to see things go with this is to improve moderation while avoiding censorship. I think censorship is bad, but moderation can be good to set boundaries, particularly when those boundaries are illegal or when those boundaries are crossing towards illegal behavior or crossing
Mm,
towards behavior that is exploiting people, which can often be illegal. I think that is the best future policy. And certain types of
okay.
content need very specific moderation to set boundaries. They do need those boundaries because otherwise, what happens is groups tend to naturally polarize. It's called group polarization. They
Mm,
tend to become more and more and more extreme from their initial views. For example, viewers become bored and they want you to do more and more and more.
that can mean in so many things in terms of just like,
and we're talking about something
yeah,
like humiliation content, people
yeah,
are going to say, hey, let's do this
humiliation, morals, political views. Some people get extreme, they don't,
thing. Let's do this thing. Let's waterboard the guy. Okay, let's do this. Let's, hit the guy. Let's punch the guy. Let's
yeah,
drown the guy. Whatever.
that's insane. Like, come on. They literally have boxing gloves on, bro.
Not something that's going to offend people's
Yeah,
mores or
it's
values, etc. Okay, they're voluntary. They can walk out anytime. They're not physically beaten. They're not, starved to the point where they're going to die. Right? Okay, this is okay. We're clearly okay with this, but we're not okay with Squid Games, and we don't want Squid Games. And what we may see if we keep pushing this is content looking more and more like Squid Games. And
niggas gonna have rifles fucking hunting down. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. All right, bro. I decided to hop on Twitter. What is this?
Allez-y, tenez pas. Pastèque, JP, pastèque. Ah, mes couilles! Les couilles, JP. Voilà,
Et non les gars, c'est l'heure de la douche.
non, non,
Un peu de spray qui pue, un peu de spray qui pue. Pourquoi il peut comme ça?
Is that paint that they're putting on him? Are you fucking serious, bro? Are you serious, bro? Hold on. Oh, whoa. This is in GTA. GTA is crazy, y'all. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my fucking goodness, bro. This is insane, bro. Oh nah.
Oh, il dépasse, mais pas des pastèques. C'est bien, ça fait un peu fac. Bien, mais quoi, c'est vrai.
Oh yeah, he had heart problems. Bro, what?
Je l'utilise. Arrête! J'ai rien fait, j'ai pas touché.
Oh, fuck, bro. But that was the whole Gene Pomerov situation, bro. That is so unfortunate that that's happened, bro. Bro, I really feel sorry for him, bro. He must have been extremely desperate to put himself in a situation like that. Nah. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't. If I was his friend, I would not allow him to do content like this. I would not. That's insane. These people are not his real friends. You know what I mean? But I hope y'all have a good breakfast. You know what I'm saying? A good night. R.I.P. Pomerov. Gene Pomerov. And yeah, bro. That shit insane, bro. Peace.